those beautiful blue mountains at the parade. So Mets fans, choose chill this season and reach for Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door by visiting CoorsLight.com/believe, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. So we are back, boys. And Kev, I'm going to tell you, I like that right at the top there. I like your focus. First place, all that matters.
That's it. That's it. If you can have, here's how I view things. You can have pretty much the worst series you can have, minus a sweep. Like the way, just that was a shit series from top to bottom. I guess we got some good pitching, so you can't knock that. But just in general, awful series, still in first place. Juan Soto really not hitting, still in first place. Lindor off to his usual cold start, still in first place. These are all things like if we were 11-7 and in first place and everything was clicking and we were playing our best ball and it was like, all right, we just have to maintain this for the whole year if we want to stay at, at this pace and stay in first place. In my mind, there's not a lot. Everything's been completely flipped. The starting pitching, at least before yesterday's game, had the best ERA in baseball, or at least the NL. And the hitting was, left a lot to be desired. And I think that when it's all said and done, we expect those two things to be flipped. So if the pitching's going to be good and the bullpen will be good, the hitting will get there. And I'll tell you this much. I hate to be the old man in baseball. And the interleague thing has been around forever, so that's not even like new. But playing teams like the Twins, it's just like, what do we do? This feels like exhibition games. They feel like spring training games. And at the end of the day, I cannot get bent out of shape about the only thing that bends me out of shape about the Twins is that they stink and we lost to them. Other than that, though, it's like throw it out. Don't care. They're not going to matter in the division. They're not going to matter in the league. It just is like a series from top to bottom. And if you come away still in first place, still on top of the Phillies, looking way down at the Braves, have the same record as some of the other best teams in baseball, can't get too bent out of shape. Meek just said it best. Frank Fleming came into our lives. It's almost like scared straight. Like we look at someone and I was able to have some perspective since I was almost like Frank Jr., Frank Light. I was like, I don't want to be like that. And having him be there makes me be like, okay, stay calm. Don't get bent out of shape. Don't get worried about these things because I don't want to be like Frank.
It's a fair perspective. How is the new dad perspective going right now, Kyle, as we move along here?
I was shocked. I was like pulling up like the stats before we came on. We're 5th in the league in run differential. Like we're plus 20.
Oh my God.
It's been great pitching.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
It's like the 5th best record in baseball.
They're doing just enough to win. And that's all that matters. At the end of the day, you just need the W. And like when the weather gets hot, the bats heat up. Like you'd have to assume with the people that they're putting in this lineup, eventually we're going to start scoring some runs.
To play devil's advocate, if the offense was doing what it's supposed to be doing, we'd be like 18-1 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like be fucking lights out.
Crazy. Yeah. But the other point, which you just said about the American League teams, we've only played the fucking Marlins. They're the only NL team that we've played this whole time.
It's crazy.
The scheduling now is ridiculous.
Well, I get, but like it feels that way, but like it's turning into like the NBA where you just kind of
I hate the NBA, Kevin.
Well, I'm saying, but like,
it doesn't matter
for us. But like the people who are just coming up watching baseball now will never think anything.
They want to get rid of the divisions, and like this is the quickest way to do that. They're just going to be AL, NL, and then you're just going to stack them up and rank them, and then that's it.
I can't tell you how much, like, I love a good Subway Series. I like to play the AL East. There's some juice there. There's some stories there. Playing, like, some of these teams, Central and West, just like, what? Oh, fucking cares, man.
The kids would say these games have no aura. They don't mean anything. And we don't play another American League team until the Subway Series on May 16th. So for next month, it's all NL teams. It's real baseball.
Play some real baseball, yeah.
Yeah, I think they said 4 of 6 of our interleague series have already taken place, which is bananas when you think about it. And then we're probably the team that just got fucked with it this year, and then another fan base next will be like, why the fuck are we playing these losers? I don't care about teams in the NL Central. let
Right.
alone the AL Central. It's cool to go to Wrigley. You know, he's like, oh, Wrigley, this is a fun little
About
place.
it.
Everyone's drunk, and that's about it. I could care less about going to fucking St. Louis or Pittsburgh. So when you're playing the National, and those are probably like more than like I'm talking the Brewer. Oh God. So anyway, it's been a weird start to the season. We talked about the pitch. The starting's been good. The bullpen era was really good. The hitting has left some to be desired, as Kevin nicely put it. This kind of got lost
in some regards, though. Like,
yeah,
you know,
Pete is an MVP out of it.
fucking on fire. Soto has not hit yet, but like he's on base every fucking time. If Soto came through in the clutch the last couple games, I don't think people would be getting on him. We'll talk about his comments in a minute. Lindor's been like cold, but not like icy like he's been in the past. You know, that top of the lineup has had its moments, and yeah, I mean, it leaves some to be desired, but I'm not like, oh my God, we're ice cold. It's just like we're below average right now, and I think it's going to start cooking soon. But the pitching, bro, the pitching, if Stearns did it again, if this lasts, he's the best executive in baseball. Because I'm a card-carrying member of the Stearns Hive. I always said until he proves otherwise, I'm going to give him all my faith in the bullpen. I'll give him faith with Clay Holmes and Frankie Montas and Crowning, Channing Crowder, and all those guys. Griffin Jennings. I feel like if I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. But if it holds and he's just like, yeah, I find these guys and they all fit this. Like I'd imagine he has some sort of stat that's like everybody who's on this upper half of this thing is going to pan out better, blah, blah, blah. He's a fucking wizard. If this starting lineup, starting rotation is going to be good, get the fuck out of here. I mean, on paper, those guys stink.
I saw Phil tweet this out the other day about like Holmes's whip versus his ERA. I don't know if like Hefner has something where he lets guys give up walks and hits, but he stops them from scoring, because I feel like we've been living in this world where like I'm waiting for the Peterson shoe to drop. I'm waiting for the Canning shoe to drop now. The Holmes shoe feels like it's a boot if it's going to drop. But
the home shoe's every other inning. It feels like every inning there's two guys on base.
I know, and that does feel like you're playing fire, and B, in the playoffs or down the stretch, like that ain't going to work. But, you know, I'm a big, like, bend, don't break guy in the football world. Like, maybe this is the baseball version of that. You're not going to be perfect, but you get the outs when it matters. But that just feels like inevitably, if you put 1.5 to 2 men on base every inning, you're fucked.
And who knows, come July, you could have, like, 4 new starting pitchers for all we know.
That's the thing, man. And same thing with the bullpen is, like, you know, like, these guys are pitch. I can't believe Brazoban is, like, effective. You know, like, some of these.
Oh, my God.
Good so far. It's, like, true diamond in the rough. At some point, I feel like those guys are going to come back to earth and regress to the mean. And when they do so, you just hope that this lineup is mashing to give them a little bit of a cushion to work with.
Brazoban, the way he looked on Wednesday, mixed with like obviously the rest of the season, with how much I hate him and like the pits of my soul where I'm like, this is going to be bad. This is when I'm like, I'm starting to believe. Oh fuck, you're going to make me believe.
Yeah,
season,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, like if he's going to be good, anything's possible.
When they traded for him last year, he was like the big get of like, oh, he's going to bolster the bullpen. And his stuff is like so good and so difficult for hitters to hit because he doesn't even know where the fuck it's going half the time.
Yeah,
it just so happens he's finding the strike zone right now, and it's devastating.
Right.
We need to meet Jeremy Hefner because I hear how he like builds these guys up. I just need to get him to like juice us up.
Do you think there's a chance that Jeremy Hefner is actually like a mail time Hall of Famer? Like he's good at his job, but he walks into work every day and he's like, they think I'm like a fucking wizard. Like, what could he really be doing? I don't know. Maybe with the technology and some of these stats, but like,
I mean,
what, you know what I mean? Like, is it one of those things get all the credit?
4 managers and 3 GMs, 4 GMs at this point?
He's basically the man. Like he
Yes.
is, like he runs the franchise.
If someone needs to know like where the closest bathroom is, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's down this way." Like, I've been here for
the longest tenured management guy.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Because they know if they were to let him go, he'd be hired in like 5 minutes.
Do you? I want like a Tom Verducci like profile on him. Like, what is actually, or maybe not. Maybe keep the secret sauce. Like, keep it in house. But like, what could I've always said that a lot of these, when you fire your hitting coach or your pitching coach, it's like you just need heads to roll because what the fuck are these guys actually doing? But I don't know. He must be doing something.
And it's also like, does he just not have any aspirations to be the manager? Is he just like, I'm collecting my paychecks. I can't fuck this up any more than I have because it's just so perfect.
How old is he? He's 39. He's got time if he wants to do all that. Yeah, he's 39 years old. I mean, he was just pitching not too long ago, right? So like
a decade ago.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of like managing, that's not that long ago. So like,
you think he saw Mickey Callaway and he was like, I'm not going down that path?
Honestly, like there's something to be said. Unless you are like maybe like a Joe Girardi or like a fucking really like being a manager that early it better work, because if it doesn't, they fire you. You get fired right away, and then you just have this weird thing on your resume where it's like if I've been a pitching coach for 10 years and a bench coach for 5 and then a manager, you give me some slack. But I don't know. At this rate, he should just be just a pitching coach and open up like a pitching academy and become go on Instagram and be the pitching fucking wizard or whatever and just have a whole career around pitching.
And the thing is, he can, if this continues his success, he can pick his job, because Cohen's going to be like, I'll pay you more than managers are getting paid to stay here as long as we're successful, right? And let's not forget, in 2023, we're like, what the fuck happened to Hefner? We suck, right? So it's not like it's just been lights out. There's also a chance.
Though, don't you think it's just like, I don't know, things click and you're like, I'll take the credit, but like those guys are out there, they're the ones throwing the pitches,
Yeah, and pitching coaches are always tough to get hired. I remember when we signed Callaway, that was a big thing. Mazzilli with the Braves forever, like he just stayed there. Yeah, exactly. So it is definitely a different beast. Is there also a chance that like he's stuck around this long, not just because he's good and he's gotten these guys to pitch well, because like they'd be like, Jeremy, I want to learn how to throw a cutter. He's like, I have no fucking clue how to throw a cutter, but he's just a good talker. Like he's a schmoozer, right?
He just might be a good hang and a good vibes guy. And like when, pitching's all about mental, and like if he just keeps you loose and like everyone likes him, as long as you're winning.
And he seems adaptable too, because it was like when DeGrom was here, he switched up his routine and he was like, yeah, go ahead and do it. And then
Sorry, I just saw something about deGrom the other day. It was like something I just described, like an Instagram pitching ninja type guy. And he was saying that notoriously Jacob deGrom does not have a pregame routine, that he doesn't warm up and stretch out the right way. And he was posting screenshots of text messages. I wish I could remember his name. I'd give him a shout out. And he was saying how like he's always kept an eye on him, and like before the game, Jacob deGrom's just sitting in the dugout. Like he's not out there stretching. He's not warming up. And he texted guys within the Mets who were like, yeah, this is just kind of how Jacob does it. He just like goes out there and throws. But the guy's point was like, yeah, and he's fucking hurt all the goddamn time. And I was thinking to myself, if Jacob deGrom's downfall was just that he didn't warm up and stretch and stuff, on the one hand, that's a tragedy. And on the other hand, I fucking love him. That he was just like, I don't do that. Like Kenny Powers shit. Like, I don't stretch. Like, Jacob, you've been injured 10 years in a row. I don't care. Stretching's for chicks. I don't do that.
Have you seen his stats so far this year? He's having like starts of like 4 innings, 3 earned runs, where it's like if he had that with us, he'd be like, okay, something's wrong. Like,
yeah, I think it's a wrap for old boy. Like, I don't know. I'm not expecting him to ever be what he was.
The year that he was like going for the triple Cy Young, he added an extra bullpen day. So he was throwing an extra day.
Oh my God.
Each turn. But like, can you argue with the results when it's like, okay, he's going for a third Cy Young and he's pitching like 7 innings of like no one's even touching the bat?
I guess, but when the other side of it is like, you're going to miss the next year.
Yeah.
Like you can argue with those results.
Yeah.
It's interesting, man. What a I mean, God willing, Steve Cohen has turned everything around and we could leave this all in the past. But when you look at the Docs and the Darrells and the deGroms, and I'm sure there's others that are just like this, what if? There's just this franchise is just so many what if.
We used to get scared when he gave up multiple hits in an inning or base runners, not even hits. Like he walked a guy, got hit, and we texted each other like,
"What's going on?"
Right to you guys, the way he's like walking back to the mound.
A 2-0 count, you're like, "Oh my God, it's Tommy John."
For real, like that. I want everyone to experience that sort of pitching once in their life, where it's like, whoa, broken bat single. What's up? Like those guys must be cheating.
Would you say that when it's all said and done, out of all the athletes you watch out of your teams, that he was like the greatest,
like at his craft
athlete? Yeah, the greatest athlete you ever watched?
I
For your teams, only your teams.
Yeah, I would think if I have to pick like one person, one season at their thing, it's probably him or Darrelle Revis in like, I think it's 09 or 10 when he was like, he was playing against, it was like the golden era of receivers. He lined up against the number one it was like T.O., Chad Ochocinco, Megatron, one after another, and they all had like one catch for 6 yards. So that always stood out to me as like this. But also that was important and it was huge for Rex Ryan, but also a starting pitcher, like being that good is just is so important to your team. So I don't know. It's one of those two things for me.
Yeah.
All interviews of the batters going against him of being like completely defeated just in the on deck circle, like going into it was like, I'm never going to get a hit. Like whatever, maybe I'll make contact if I hope, like, Yeah. That was the most jarring. Like anyone you talk to, they were like, oh, you know that you're not getting a hit going up there.
Yeah, like
be like such a mind fuck, especially in baseball.
The whole game is just like, let's just punt. I'll see you tomorrow. Like,
yeah.
What do you think, Clem? Is there any
So off the top of my head,
Giants that like Lawrence Taylor? Maybe?
Yeah, like so I was too young for Lawrence Taylor when he was like wrecking shit. Odell, like that 1 year Odell was just catching slants and like taking him to the house, and like I thought he was gonna win like MVP at one point. Like Eli was kind of like never had that. Ewing never had like that thing. I think it's deGrom. Like I think it's clearly deGrom too. And baseball wise with the Mets, like I was too young for Doc that one season. I should ask Clemmer. Clemmer be like, old house Ryborn. It's fine. But I think like the feeling Jacob deGrom gave me was like I was gonna see stuff like forget about no hitter or perfect game. Like I was like I'm gonna see something I've never seen before, and the numbers still make no sense when you look back at it. And
bro, that year where it was like he hadn't given up like what was it? He was 500, but like the stats were just bananas. The wins loss were crazy. Remember that he was like under 500, but he had like a rate of like 1. He didn't give up like more than 2 runs in like any game. It was
like Mike Francesa reading out his earned runs for like 20 starts, like nothing above like 2.
That was sickening, man. God, what a difference! Like, there's like this staff is good, but if we had like a real ace, although Senga looked like one the other day, but if you had like a Cy Young contender dropped into this right now, is there going to be anybody available like that at the trade deadline? Any like major pitcher that's like coming up?
I guess Sandy Alcantara, though he does have like 2 years of control left. And the Padres
is Paul Skenes available?
5 more years.
5. God damn.
Yeah.
God.
It is the Pirates.
Baseball's got to change that. They do. I really think they've got it. Like it's in a weird way. I like the system, but from just a modern sports point of view, you cannot have Paul Skenes, or you have to make everyone competitive. You cannot have Paul Skenes wasting away for like 5-6 years. You can't. I mean, it's just you're wasting your stars. It's crazy.
It would kill small market teams if they let these guys have free agency early. But guess what? I don't care about small market teams.
Or
you the big boy league.
You gotta put the floor in, or do something to encourage parity so that the Pirates can contend. Because it's like,
I mean, that was the whole thing coming up. Like for the Rays. Do you remember the Rays were always stacked in the minors, and every team would just lick their chops and wait and be like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. We're just going to wait until they come due," and they'd lose everybody. They get gutted every like 4 seasons.
But at least they would also contend when they'd have their 1 or 2 years.
Yeah,
Pirates are just like they're. I'm sure Paul Skenes looks right into the eyes of ownership and says, "I'm leaving," and they go, "Yeah, we know." Like it's not even a question. That's a problem. If it's like, hey, is he going to stay? Francisco Lindor, like maybe he stays with the Indians. Okay, they're not going to pay him. Like this is like from the jump, foregone conclusion. He will not be here. That's crazy.
Yeah, he'll get a like $500 million contract, and the Pirates haven't signed up. The Pirates have not signed a player to a free agent to a multi-year contract since like Ivan Nova in 2016.
Ivan Nova.
That's crazy.
They opened up that GQ photo shoot with him and Livy Dunn, and we're just like, fuck.
Yeah. Like even if they were a contender, like he's going to LA or whatever, he's going right to fucking the Dodgers. We know it, but man, I would love Cohen to make a fucking fat bid on him as well.
That would be nice. One other guy that I don't think does not touch deGrom, but is like a memorable season I always remember is a guy I wanted to bring up on the pod too, because it's kind of gotten lost over the last couple of days with the way the games have gone. Let's see. What scale can I use? The ball scale, of course. What am I saying? The ball scale is always the answer for a scale. 1 through 5 on the ball scale. How worried are you about Edwin Diaz right now?
Yeah, like 2 balls.
I'm like at a permanent 3.5 with Diaz.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always worried with him because he's had the ups, but he's had enough downs and enough injuries and stuff that I'm like, you just don't know what you're gonna get. But I don't, bro. I cannot even start to. You can't make any proclamations about anything, good or bad, until like minimum
Memorial Day.
May 15th.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like we got a long way to go before I'm even starting to form an opinion on anybody. You know, it's just such stupidly long. It's so stupid. 106. It's so stupid.
It helped to be a winter and Stanek this time around too. Like the last time that he sucked, it was like there's nobody else, and we were.
We used to be like, we got to get to Diaz, and I was like, why? What's gonna happen when we get to him?
Yeah.
Now there's. I mean, Stanek he's obviously not great the other day, but he's been awesome.
Yeah.
You know, they've Rhino's the man. They've got themselves like a real bullpen. It's not. I mean, it's been good. I don't think it's like amazing, but it's just like, oh, this is a functioning adult professional bullpen.
They had I think it was Keith or Ron the other day. They had a line where they're like, "Yeah, it's been, Diaz in the cold weather. He's not great, and sometimes when the games doesn't matter, and we haven't really seen much of him since he was dominant 3 years ago." And I go, that was 3 years ago when the Diaz season with Timmy Trumpets, and I was like, fuck, man, I felt so goddamn old. I hope Phil felt a little old when they said
I
that.
did.
Good.
Also, it's like his velo's always down in April too. Like even like when he was at his best, like he always was like this in April. It's just we forget it.
Yeah. Also, for any of the olds here, like Kevin and I, and I don't know if Kyle might dip into this. My wife sent me it was like a meme or something she found on Facebook, and it made me want to knock her block off. Kurt Loder is turning 80 next month. 80. The face of MTV News, the guy who gave you the stuff and like was like the face of like the young channel on TV, is turning 80. And then you're like, what the fuck? And you're just like, that kind of makes sense, but still, that one hurt a lot. And then hearing Diaz's like lights out season was 3 years ago. I mean, granted, that World Baseball Classic knocked him out for an entire year, and that just skipped it all. And life's been in fast forward since the pandemic, but that was just completely fucked. So here we are.
Well, that's what happens too, though, is like, you like, I remember people referencing the Mets, the 2015 World Series team. And it's like, guys, that's an eternity ago. That's a long fucking, I mean, now it is, but even a couple years ago, it was like, what are we talking about? This team from like 8 years ago? Like, it's not even a real, this is like entirely new ownership, player, manager, everything. Gotta move on. Keep going.
The only active players from the 2015 team are like Conforto, Wilmer, deGrom, and I think that's it.
Nimmo got called up.
No, he got called up in 2016. He just missed it.
Oh, really? I thought
he was June like 2016. He got called up. He actually got, because Conforto got sent down that year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean Conforto, because he got called up that year. So
I'm not counting Wheeler because he missed all of 2015. So, but yeah, 3 guys left from the 2015 team are still active players.
I was just saying, how wouldn't it be nice to have like a Cy Young guy on this thing? Imagine if they just kept Wheeler.
If Steve bought the team 1 year earlier.
I know.
At the time he was here.
What's that?
Wheeler felt like he was hurt the entire time. Like he never figured it out. He was always hurt. So it was like,
and when we heard that he was going to get like 120 million, I remember being like, pass. So I was wrong on that, but I just wish they did it.
By the way, you want to talk about not being able to make proclamations in, mid-April, let alone like mid-May? Wilmer Flores leads the National League in home runs and RBIs. the crying kid
he's hitting better than Pete right now.
Yeah, about the same.
About the same.
I was gonna say, there's nobody can be better than Pete. I'm so happy for Pete, bro. That there's got to be part of him who's going, fuck, I just did this 6 months earlier. God damn it. But nonetheless, he has got to just feel so fucking good. And I hope that he can opt out, or there's incentives or kickers or whatever where he can get money. Because man, like he feels like it's back. Like it's so funny how much I think it's mental. Because like, yeah, when he's hitting the ball, he's hitting it opposite field. He's hitting like Titanic shots. That's old school Pete. But he's also not chasing and not striking out. It's like that stuff is not just strength or whatever. That's like in your mind, you are approaching things differently for whatever reason. And like, thank God it's happened, because that guy's been through it all trying to get to the top,
It's absolutely awesome. Watching him is just so much fun, and it's what it used to be in 2019. And I'm just so happy that we got this version of Pete back, even if it's for a year before he opts out, and
even if it's for a month.
Yeah,
Like, I'm just happy that getting off to a hot start at least keeps people like they'll shut up for a while. He's earned like enough slack that people will just at least a couple months of people being like, yeah, no, Pete's fine, which is all the more reason why those fucking comments from Soto.
Speaking of, so that Juan Soto might be the reason Pete's getting those numbers, but the most important thing is Pete is getting those numbers. And if you want to go and see Pete out at the ballpark, get yourself on Game Time. Baseball's back. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Luckily for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to showtime. Plus, the Game Time picks features make it even easier to find great deals on the seats you want. I love clicking that button and everything just pulls up the best stuff you want. So just pull up your chosen event, turn on the GT pick setting at the top of the screen, and browse the best local Game Time picks deals near you on your Game Time app homepage. I was looking at tickets for Saturday's game versus the Cardinals here. Click the little GT picks button, and let's see, $35. We got tickets there. $35. We get Mets Cardinals. Beautiful day. I think it's like 80-degree high that day. Absolutely perfect. 4:00 game. Empire State bobblehead. You can rip the Empire State building off, throw it in the garbage, keep the Mr. Met part of the bobblehead. It's absolutely perfect. You can put those savings back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned Cracker Jack. So what are you waiting for? I'm going to buy my Mets Cardinals tickets now with Game Time picks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BELIEVE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BELIEVE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. What time is it? Game time. And what time is it? Kevin having to walk the tightrope of his beloved Juan Soto.
Well,
goddamn comments about the hated New York Yankees.
I'm prepared because Clem, you're a married man, happily married. Kyle, you're now a new father. Neek, you're fucking on the Mets bed. You're not in a real relationship until you get tested. You know what I mean? Everybody in the beginning, sunshine and rainbows, you're in the honeymoon phase, you're fucking, you're partying, everything's all good. And anybody can be in love with Juan Soto. When you first sign him and he's the shiny new toy and he's coming in and he's getting on base and you see him hit a couple dingers. But then you get tested. And this is our first Juan Soto test, and it's happening admittedly a little bit earlier than I wish. There is no real spin zone for these comments other than what he said is completely true and honest. And we always say we want players to be honest and candid, and we don't want them to just give canned responses and blah, blah, blah. So you get it both ways. If a reporter says to you, hey, man, like you're walking, but I don't even know what the question was, but I would imagine it was kind of accusing him a little bit of, yeah, you're getting on base, but you're not like hitting the ball. Why, what's going on? And you want to say the balls I'm seeing are different because of this, that, and the other. That's a very valid baseball thing to say. You can do that in almost any other town, talking about any other player and any other team. If he came from the fucking Dodgers and said, Mookie Betts and Ohtani were protecting me, nobody would care. You just can't do it here. There's just nothing to gain at all, especially when your boy Pete is hitting as well as Aaron Judge is. And that's also why it's not turning into like a total fiat. They're winning and Pete is hitting, so it's kind of going to like disappear. But my God, if they were not and Pete was struggling, it would be like, this would be back page news and WFA and fodder for like weeks to come. I just don't know what he was thinking. I almost hate that Aaron Judge's reply was like so professional and so good because I'm like, fuck, that's what we should have done from the jump. I'm not too, I'm not really bent out of shape about it, but it is just like why the fuck did you do that, dude?
Why'd you do that, Karen? Why'd you say those comments, Karen?
And it's like you were here for a year. The Padres are a big enough market. Like, you should probably know better than that. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it's just like, and it's something we all know. It's not like, it's not like he said anything false, but we just don't need to be talking about how here's what bothered me the most. and I don't even know if I really believe this, or maybe I saw Carabas and the Baseball is Dead guys put up a clip, and their caption was like, Juan Soto can't stop talking about the past. And I don't know if that's a fair characterization, but if you're doing enough that a baseball podcast like theirs is characterizing that's who you are, that sucks. So fucking stop. You don't want to be that guy. And I feel like I actually don't think he's been that bad, but those comments made me feel like, shut the fuck up. Just stop.
You just gotta know better that the New York media will twist any sentence you say to just put it against you. Like, yeah, you say those comments in San Diego, it's nothing. You say it in New York, they'll like flip your words around to make you look like a bad guy. It's just what it is.
But the only thing is he
shouldn't have said it. He has to be smarter.
But he doesn't give a fuck.
No, he's got 800 million guaranteed.
You really have to remember how little all of these players care about anything.
True.
Like, it's their job. They're millionaires. They're on a 5-game losing streak. They don't care. They walk into the clubhouse. They're in a 5-game win streak. They don't care. You talk about the Mets and Yankees rivalry. Half of them, maybe like Brandon Nimmo cares. Maybe somebody who's been around forever cares. The rest of them don't give a fuck. So while we get bent out of shape and the media goes nuts and the callers are crazy, like, ultimately they don't really care and this doesn't affect anything. But from our point of view, it's like, I would like you to not give them that ammo, please. Thank you.
I think what bothered me more was the still shots of Soto in the cold and right field. People were like, oh, he's so miserable. It's like, it's fucking 14 degrees. Have you ever looked happy in that kind of weather before, asshole?
Also, like, it would be the same thing if you're playing for the Yankees. It's, like, it's all that has nothing to do with anything. It's crazy.
I also don't give Mets fans a lot of credit when it comes to this sort of thing, but I feel like it was almost 100% Yankee fans picking up the article and being like, oh, he misses. Yeah. Like, dude, you can't be a bigger loser if that's what you're going to point to 16 games into the season, that Juan Soto, the generational Juan Soto, is off to a slow start, similar, by the way, to what he did with the Padres. And then he turned it on when it mattered most. And that's where I feel like he says those comments because he knows, like, I'm going to get mine. Eventually, I'm going to be hitting 350 and shove it up your ass. Like,
he is absolutely going to get his. He is like, the thing I am worried about least in this world is Juan Soto ending up at his numbers. Maybe, would it be ideal if it was steady? Sure. But like, he's going to get there 1,000%. It's just, don't say this.
You're just trying to dunk on it early because they still miss it. It's like, it's very sad at this point if you're a Yankees fan and you're still like so hung up on this.
Yeah,
like,
I like what you're doing here, Kyle, but I'll say this. Anytime it's like the reverse, Mets fans are like, oh, Yankee fans miss Soto so much. And then when Yankee fans have their chance to latch onto something, they do.
I guess.
It's how the city rolls. That's the point. You have to know that both of these fan bases are going to do that shit. So don't give them any extra ammo, right? I mean, Clem, we've been dealing with this for how long? You know what I mean? This is like, you got to know this.
I mean, my son asks me all the time because he's growing up now, and I said we don't like the Yankees in this house, and he's like, why? And I said, well, when I was a kid, I had all these Yankees fans just talk trash to me, and he's like, when was that? And I'm like, I'm like, it wasn't until I was like 12 or 13 because no one gave a fuck about the Yankees, and then
he hasn't experienced yet.
Once Jeter started hitting and Posada, and you had the core 4 coming up. That's when it all changed, and he calls them the bullies. He's like, Dad, what were the bullies saying to you? And now he's trying to become a bully to the next generation.
Yeah.
I have his teacher's a Yankees fan. She's like, AJ just keeps telling me whenever the Yankees lose and the Mets win. I'm like, all right, like we have to fight.
Raise them right. Raise them young. Let's go.
I'm hoping Juan Soto will like embrace that and realize that like we're trying to build something here and not worry about the shit across the river. But like at the same point, like you said, Kev, he doesn't care. I was more like, now I have to hear, like, you're going to have the Yankee superiority complexes coming out on Twitter.
Yep.
You're going to have a few Mets fans with the inferiority complexes, barking back. And then the worst part is, like, the Mets have done everything to keep the fucking fodder out of the sports talk radio host's mouth because, like, even if Juan Soto's not hitting, he's getting on base. We're winning. Pete's hitting. And that's all that matters. So, like, they can only go, like, so far with their hot takes to try to get clicks. And when you get something like this, I'm like, well, that's a feeding frenzy for, like, a week now.
I know. But it's also it's mitigated like a motherfucker because of everything you just said. Everyone is hitting. Pete's hitting. Everyone is winning. Like, that really helps the cause. I just feel like, was there any follow-up quotes? Like, I want him to kind of be like, yo, by the way, Pete Alonso's hitting anyone on the fucking planet Earth.
I put it in my blog. I blogged it because Hubs was like, hey, do you want to blog this? And I didn't even see the comments. I saw another comment about like how he like has his his approach, and I was like, you want to blog that? And then I saw the judge thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. The next line is like, pass the baton to Pete, and then Pete does it. And no one talked about that. When
I didn't even know that. So like, definitely tons of people don't know that. That's so fun. I knew that there was going to be something more to it. That's such bullshit. That's
Look,
so
I see a headline and want to run with it.
That's
But also,
2025,
that's
baby.
why you can't do that. Like they're not going to include that part, you know?
Yep.
Well, it was like Puma put it out, and then Heyman picked it up, and then just like didn't actually address what was in the article. And once it goes national, then everyone just takes the headline and nobody reads any. I had somebody
That's why he doesn't care.
post article from the New York Porch Sports
Yeah.
with the real quote, and I'm like, you're a fucking idiot if you think this is a real article. And that just further proves my point that nobody clicks and reads. First of all, you got to pay for, so nobody was reading it.
Yeah,
They're
that's
just
true.
gonna see what everyone's saying about it.
That was the problem, is that it was a paywalled article.
Yeah.
So everyone was just going off the quotes that they were fed, and then the baton quote gets lost because no one's going to talk about that. And I put in my blog, I go, you know what Pete does when he gets a baton? He beats the fuck out of baseballs. And like, it's fine. We're scoring runs with like those, our little, like our runs per game are coming out of like that one little time when Soto gets a base and Pete knocks him in. And then maybe like Torrance has like an RBI. And we're winning games by that. That's all that matters. But
but everything you just described is why Juan Soto shows up at the ballpark and does not give a fuck. If I had $765 million guaranteed and I'm as good as I am, and I've been in the league, and I know how the media works, and someone said to me like, hey, what, like, do you feel stupid about those comments? I'd be like, none of this matters. Shut the fuck up.
We're talking about a slumping hitter whose OPS is hovering around 800. If that's your slump, that's a good thing.
I mean, Joe, I know this is – I've watched him with the Nationals. He's been in the spotlight for a long time now. But when he's on your team and you realize just how often that motherfucker gets on base, even when he's not seeing the ball that well and hitting the ball that well, like, I mean – and people are going to get on him for, like, not having, not hitting right now. Like, what do you want him to do? He's got the best eye in baseball. He walks all the fucking time. That was kind of his point, I would imagine. Like, I'm letting the game come to me. I'm taking it as it comes. And like, I'm on base all the fucking time. It is a spectacle to watch him even walk. Just watch him take a ball. Watching someone take a ball is about the most boring thing you can do in sports. And he makes it interesting.
And I saw someone tweeted it out, like, Juan Soto strikes out for the first time since July of 24 and feels like, what was that, like 90 games ago?
Yeah, it was like his first 3 strikeout games since last July. It's like, it's not long ago.
Yeah, they
He was hitting behind Aaron
Aaron
Judge.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, whatever. We had to address it. We had to talk about it. And I think all of our stomachs sunk when we saw the quotes. And it's just like, I wish he didn't say it. And this is a good lesson, though. Like, he makes those comments with the Yankees. Even if he's talking good about a Padres teammate, or even if he had been a Met beforehand, they get covered one way. And then the fan base digests them another way. It's different here. And it's going to be different until we start winning consistently. Then at some point, we stop giving a fuck. But until that happens, we're going to get these kind of things. So hopefully he realizes it. Probably doesn't give a fuck. But at the same point, he probably is not going to want to keep getting asked the same questions, which is why Judge is already professional. He's like,
but at the same time, it's like Juan Soto is like we keep calling him like Ted Williams, right? So it's like I do want to hear his like unfiltered, real thoughts on hitting in the major leagues. And if he's going to break down the difference in pitches between batting behind Aaron Judge and Pete Alonso, like that should just be interesting that we can all like appreciate that. But
it was literally him saying, I've gotten intentionally walked more already than I did last year. And then they asked him what he thinks is the cause of that. And he's like, well, I had the best hitter in baseball behind.
Yeah.
Like, come on. What do you want from him? And
I hate how good Aaron Judge is, by the way.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like, you can give me all the fucking bullshit. He's so fucking good. And he's just not stopping.
I saw Hubs.
Well, he stops in October.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But Hubs posted a screenshot of his numbers, and he's just like, it's crazy that we don't even blink. It's like 1,300 OPS, 7 home runs, 21 RBIs. Like, that's like, that's going to be like our catcher's entire season. So, like, it's just, it's a weird career arc because, like, I guess he was just so injured early on. He was like a good player, but he was not this. You know what he's doing is cheating. He's on steroids. You don't just all of a sudden start hitting 60 home runs.
Yeah. And then they just wear off in October when everyone's watching, which is why we don't like blink at his numbers because we
I
know
was gonna say until he does it, then it's like okay, be a regular season warrior, bro.
yeah.
Is he like Benjamin Button, Jacob deGrom? Starts with the injuries, becomes like otherworldly, and then he'll just be like a pretty good player by the end of his career.
We do need him. How old is he now?
He's like 33, I think.
Yeah, we need him to 32, about to turn 33 at the end of this month. We need that motherfucker to start breaking down. Let's go. Come on. You're big. You've been injured in the past. Where's your next injury, dude?
Arson Judge. We were so close to getting this guy out of town.
He's already worth 1.6 WAR on Baseball Reference.
That's sick.
That's literally going to be our catchers this
Right.
season.
Yeah. That's insane.
The only other comments I wanted to address in this segment where I missed them. You guys said Keith SC, South Carolina. What's
Yeah. Keith's moving to South Carolina. I missed that initially as well. I feel like that's a big deal. Got to have Keith on the island. Got to have Keith nearby. Got to have him a local boy. I mean, we already kind of, he's on like a limited schedule as is. And I'm just like, I want to make sure, is this like low key the beginning of the end where he's like, I'm moving and, like I'll make it to every other homestand or something like that?
Keith Hernandez has a 3-year contract with SNY expiring at the end of the 2025 season.
All right, boys. Well, we might have to like start preparing for the hard goodbyes here then, huh?
They
How
are
old is he? Keith Hernandez is
70, I think.
71. I mean, it's well within your, like, if he decided to retire, you wouldn't be like, what? Like, so early. He's well within that range.
I mean, do you plan to be doing this at 70?
Hell no, man. I'm doing this
Simple as that.
I'm doing this at 50. Put a bullet in me. I don't know. Yeah, but it's just that was Keith Hernandez can't live in. He's got to live in. Was he Sag Harbor or something like that? He's got to be that Long Island guy. He's not.
And that just like writes him off for all the home games. Do you think that was just like a Freudian slip from Gary? Like he wasn't supposed to say that?
That
He didn't touch on it at all.
That should not be out there.
Yeah.
They are going to start integrating Daniel Murphy into more broadcasts,
Yeah,
like I think they said.
I don't like that.
Every time I see Murph next to Gary, I just think of Gary's comments, and I just think I'm all
Negative.
I don't like. I've been like Daniel Murphy to me is just blah. You know what I mean? Compared to like what we got. Like, dude, I'll tell you, it's almost whoever does replace them, like dead man walking. It's the second guy. The second crew will like hopefully, because the first one is going to get nothing but unfair comparisons to the greatest of all time.
It's almost like we needed them to be there when they were there because we were so fucking bad. And now that we're good, we could just have a regular good broadcast with like or just normal guys without Keith laughing at like a hot girl or something or a hot
Who would be your ideal? Let's keep Gary. Let's say you got to replace Ron and Keith.
I mean,
I have one guy in mind for sure.
The answer for me is always David Wright, but he's almost too wholesome to be in the booth,
Yeah,
right?
he's kind of boring. Like, you need. I have one Met who was like a short-lived but good Met. I'm trying to think of someone like who would be like the Keith of modern times.
Like a fun guy, has some humor to him.
The one guy I'm thinking of is Cliff Floyd. I would love
Yes.
He's with the Marlins broadcast, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's in. I think he was on MLB Network for a while too. I think so.
He stopped on the Apple broadcast, and I called him out, and then he started tweeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like Cliff, I love you, buddy, but like you dropped the ball.
I know, I do like. He would be great though. Cliff would be a great one, and then like.
How was Leiter at? He was with SNY, right? Was Leiter?
Yeah, but I think of him too much as like a Yankee guy now because of that. I don't know.
Franco was like too much of a chatter. I think. I don't think he really likes to.
Jerry Blevins is good, but they put him in the studio, and he's not like. Like, do you have to have a certain level of pedigree to get to the booth?
I kind of think so. If he wasn't a absolute crazy man, and I don't know what ended up happening with him, but there was a time I would have said LaDuca would have been great.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know where that ended up going. I don't think it went well, but
I'm sure Rico could reach out to him.
What was his moniker that you was going to say, Kevin? Curtis Granderson, very well spoken.
Curtis Granderson. The most low key racist shit of all time. Every time, Curtis Granderson's so well spoken. He would be good though. He's well spoken. He would be good.
I do this. It just doesn't feel like it's one of those things you don't think about, like your dog. When you're like, oh, he's just gonna be around forever. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. No, this is that day's gonna come, and I would have to imagine if like Keith goes, Ron's not gonna want to either one's not gonna want to do random
during the postseason and stuff. The
Yeah.
fact that Keith is going to be out of state, like that just writes him off of every home game.
I kind of think so. Where it used to be the opposite, like he's not going to away games. Now it's like, I don't know.
The only thing that gives me pause is like you're telling me Keith Hernandez wouldn't do like a retirement tour.
Yeah. This
It's
whole
just
they gotta clarify this because maybe it's like is he moving or is he getting a house? And you know what I mean? Like, is it? I don't know. The whole thing is just I don't like.
I think they said he was moving because they were like, "You're a snowbird. Like that's always been your thing. Like you've always shuttled between the two. I can't believe you're going to be like in South Carolina."
Wow, I didn't realize it was that. Yeah, Keith doesn't strike me as a guy like he's making sure he's getting all that tax money saved and he's Portnoying it, right? He's not just going to be dabbling. He's going full measure. I wonder if he was like holding out for Haji because Haji earning a new home, right? And then once Haji left, he always has the fucking restaurants where he has his reservation. One of them probably closed, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm moving to South Carolina now."
That's what I can't imagine though. He just seems like such a New York guy. He's got his his people, his dates, his restaurants, it just seems like you're not a Southern guy, Keith Hernandez. Come on. One of the best moments of my career, I interviewed Keith and he didn't have time in between other more important interviews. I just hopped in the car with him and we ate a turkey sandwich in the back of his like Escalade Uber. And it was awesome. It was one of my favorite interviews ever. Oh, he's the man.
He's from San Francisco.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah. All right. So we're going to bury those feelings deep inside of us. Yeah. And the only time, though, if they bubble up, we just drink until they go back down. So we're just going to take care of that. We don't want to think of it anymore. We're going to go around the league now. We're going to go around the league that is presented by DraftKings. They say baseball is a marathon, not a sprint. And that's great news for us because there are so many games to bet on. Don't miss a second of the action at DraftKings Sportsbook. From every game day until the champagne pops and the trophy is lifted, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odd boosts, and so much more. If you've never bet on baseball before, it's easier than you think. Just pick something simple like your favorite team to win a game and make your pick. It's just that simple. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BELIEVE. That's code BELIEVE for new customers. Get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Sometimes I like to find out which MLB TV free game of the day is. Go on there, bet the game, have a little bit of fun. I'm personally a home run guy. Give me like a guy to hit a home run, and you just kind of get a nice little boost. It's almost like the first touchdown bets in football. So check it out on DraftKings. The crown is yours. All right, so I couldn't get Kevin's blood pressure too high with Juan Soto. Couldn't get it too high with the Mets' stupid-ass loss, which was a goddamn curse from the time Winker got thrown out to, like, the 7 fly balls that died at the warning track to the umpires. The umpires fucking stink this year, and that goes for both sides. We've gotten some calls. The other teams have gotten some calls. They fucking stink. Let's see if we can get Kevin to get up into the danger level here. Francisco Lindor named captain of the Puerto Rican World Baseball Classic team. Kevin, don't say anything that are going to get yourself canceled, the show canceled, or angry tweets.
These Puerto Ricans got it. I hate the Baseball Classic, and like being the captain just means there's no chance for like I make an appearance, I do an at bat, and I go sit down. Like,
can you be the manager? I take that.
Yeah, right. Be the GM of the fucking team. You can run the whole thing, but do it from a fucking press box, man. The real thing that sucks is he should be named captain of the whole ass team, the real captain. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck about the Puerto Rican team. Give me the captain of the Mets. When is it next? Is 26 is the year? Yeah. I'm just, I went to war for 3-4 weeks straight with the baseball nerds on this one, and that was like this time's going to be even just bigger ratings and more hype and all that shit, and I'm going to have to dig my hater. I'm going to have to go next level hate on this one, especially now knowing that he's going to be the captain of this team. It's just, I swear to God, if there's another injury or anything that I hear, this messed me up, this fucked up my routine, it's still the reason why we didn't win in 22. I'll go to my grave. saying that 2022 we would have got fuck it. I hate how much they love it. I mean, the only thing I will say is like, if Team Puerto Rico is cooking, like that will be fun to watch. I'll support my boys. I'll probably root for Puerto Rico over America at this point. But yeah, I want no part of this. I still believe that if I could, I would put clauses into all my contracts if I was GM saying you can't do this. You're not allowed. Maybe you could be a figurehead, maybe you can make an appearance, but you are not playing a full fucking World Baseball Classic as the captain of Puerto Rico. God damn it.
Kyle, what do you got on the World Baseball Classic? I think
it's the league that's the problem.
Yeah,
they force it. They're like, we want all the biggest names. When Edwin got hurt, they paid out his contract that year because he got hurt during it. So it's like they try to prop it up, and like I get it. This has been going on since like 2006. I remember this being like, oh, there's no more baseball in the Olympics. Like this is going to be like the World Cup for baseball, and it still hasn't really taken off. Like the other countries like it more than America. So given that's probably why they're doing it and continuing to do it. But like, what are we doing? It can't be
the best quote of all time when Mike Francesa said, I wouldn't watch it if they played in my backyard. The greatest quote ever. And I listen, there's no denying, like, I was surprised by how many people liked it. Like I thought, I still think it's stupid, but there's no denying the ratings are awesome and the rest of the fans love it. But I'm just not like I don't care about baseball. Like the way like the Carabases of the world are like, I want the sport. I don't give a fuck about the sport. I just want the Mets to win. I don't need it to be global. I don't need the ratings. I don't care that young kids get to see Ohtani. I don't fucking care about any of that shit.
Right. They like incorporate like the spirit of baseball. So it's like, you know, you're watching like the guys with the Zuzuvuela trumpets and Japan and everybody else has like their own spin on the game. And it's like, that's great. I would rather just watch those teams and not have my players on.
Honestly, if it was the International World Baseball Classic and all the American players just weren't in it, like fine, whatever. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
I mean, 98% of Japan watched the last time those teams played. You gotta remember that.
That's some of your best work ever, Meek. There are definitely people out there who still believe that stat.
And 98% of a country of like 7 billion people watch the baseball game.
I think there's probably a good like 50-50 in the baseball community that thought that literally 98% of Japan tuned in.
I've heard this thing ever since JJ Poots was like the first guy to get like hurt, and that was like our big addition for the year. We thought, obviously the Mets bullpen is a house of horrors all the time, and it just continued. When I saw the Yankees fans crying, like they were proud and then crying that Aaron Judge was named the captain of Team USA, I was like, oh, poor you, fucking straight into Olivia Soprano. Like, fucking guys are complaining about, he better not get hurt. Shut the fuck up. You guys don't know pain. You don't know
anything. You don't know hurt.
Kev, that might be where he starts breaking down.
You guys gotta get the injury. Yeah,
that's what it is. So we're just gonna cancel the World Baseball Classic right now. We don't want to be like, oh, you guys liked it until God forbid something happens to it. No. We've hated it since JJ Poots, who half the fuckers don't even know, was playing it, and we certainly hate it now. I guess we're like, it does get to the point where you're like, am I rooting for Team Puerto Rico? Because like you say, Kev, my allegiance in baseball is strictly towards the Mets. This is how I'm thinking in just general right now. This year and next year, I know we have the current CBA. We need to win in these next 2 years because then when the lockout happens after 26, I don't know what it's going to look like. And somehow they're going to fuck only the Mets. The Dodgers will be fine, but the Mets and the way they pay their players will get fucked. So it's like we need to win these 2 years. If the World Baseball Classic was before 27, I'd say, all right, that's in the new world that I know is going to fuck us. These 2 years is what I had. Now I basically have this year where I got to win.
I know. What we need is the World Baseball Classic during the lockout. And then it's like, whatever. There's no American baseball to be played.
Yes, and after the season. It always made more sense after the season because, like, a guy like Diaz, he's out the whole year. But these guys who have, like, week-long or month-long injuries, they can come back by the beginning.
You get surgery right away, miss, like, maybe the first month or whatever, but you're not out for the fucking year.
Yeah, and they're warmed up where a lot of these guys are throwing because they're, representing their country, and then they're getting hurt, trying to max out here. So
I'll tell you what, if I was Francisco Lindor, knowing my own history, you're gonna be captain of a team. You're gonna be back 0-50 during the fucking World Baseball Classic.
Spin zone. Maybe he gets all of his shitty at bats out of the way.
Hey, all right.
All right. I like we're out of here, boys. We're talking ourselves into the World Baseball Classic. This shit is
Puerto Rico. Love World Baseball Classic.
And then finally wrapping up our look ahead here. 4 games at home against the Cardinals, then followed up by 3 against the Phillies. The Phillies, I feel like, are pretty much the same team that we faced during October and battled Max within the cave. But Phil, tell me about the 2025 St. Louis Cardinals, because I know only they have Arenado. Goldie's no longer there, obviously.
Mhm.
Steven Matz, I'm guessing, is in the rotation, so I don't think we'll be facing him.
He
right?
started yesterday.
Oh my God!
I didn't watch the game, but
Is Yadier Molina still there?
no. The Cardinals are a 500 team. Starting pitching's Their lineups They're
I
just
still don't like playing them though. The Cardinals always just give me flashbacks, PTSD. They're like a NL Yankees. I don't like the Cardinals. I never will.
They're just average. Like there's nothing I could really say about them besides that. I mean, they gave the Dodgers Tommy Edman, so you can be mad at them for that.
That is a fair point. I can be very mad at them for that.
Assholes. Yeah.
Steven Matz, 2.16 ERA, has a save and a win. He's a
Contract
pitcher,
year.
and then there we go. Wow, that contract that he signed and spit in Cohen's face is already up after this year, huh?
Last the 4-year deal.
So let's see. Brendan Donovan batting 380. They have Wilson Contreras. Okay, that's someone I know. Nootbaar, that fucking guy Nootbaar with the silly-ass name. Arenado's hitting well after the offseason of trade rumors. Jordan Walker's back up. He's hitting 250, a couple bombs. So there's really not much, there's some names I know of there. I mean, I was so lost with the A's. And then even the Twins have a couple guys, though, that I kind of like. That dude who got hurt, the big guy, you know what I'm talking about? I think
Walner's like too fast for a big guy.
Yeah, exactly. I love that dude, but he's an injury just waiting to happen. So there we go. We got the Cardinals coming up, followed by the Phillies. The Phillies, like we'll be tasting our own blood here now the next few days, right? We're getting some National League teams, some teams that we faced in the past. So this is going to feel like the baseball season.
Just
it's
a
going
stat
to
on the
warm
Phillies,
out.
The Phillies are 51-49 in their last 100 games, dating back to last season. That shows you how hot of a start they had. So they've been a 500 team for the last 100 games, and they're pretty much healthy.
They're just not that good. Not a good baseball team.
And they're getting older by the day. That's the best part. That is an aging team, as they say, an aging team.
The weather's starting to break. It's getting to be 70 degrees this week, so we're going to have like a nice reintroduction to Citi Field. Maybe we get some hits. We got Barstool at the ballpark coming up May 10th.
Mm-hmm. Get your tickets. I think I might bring the kids out. I think it might be the first appearance at Barstool at the ballpark.
Bring the kids out. Bring your kiddies. Bring your time to have a heck of a life.
Yeah, another note on the Cardinals series. Tomorrow is my mom's birthday, her 65th. We are going to the game.
Ooh,
she won a contest where we are having dinner at the Chop House with a Mets alumni. I have no idea who the alumni is. So excited to see about that.
I hope it's like Dennis Cook. I hope it's like the most random Met of all time.
Dennis Cook, what a poll.
The alumni could be literally, it could be Darryl Strawberry, it could be Dennis Cook, it could be Doc Gooden. I don't know.
That's awesome though. That's fun. You said at the Chop House?
At the Chop House, yeah.
Cool. Very nice.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Shout out Mama Meek, 65. Beautiful birthday right there. And it's spring weather. And listen, the Mets are cooking when we're not even touching on this, let alone making a full segment. Knicks basketball playoffs start on Saturday. This is the thing. This year, the season, the team has been like good in terms of offense and a lot of numbers, but the expectations just aren't as high because it's like they don't have like the toughness and kind of the edge that last year's team did, right? And let's be honest, Boston and the Cavs kicked the shit out of us every time we played them, but it's just something nice just to have in the mix.
I'm a little nervous about Detroit.
So I was too. I was standings watching. So I was doing that whole thing, and I was like, I kind of want to face the Bucks, even though Giannis is an absolute monster. And then fuck the Pacers. Let's just face them after last year. And the two things that I fear about the Pistons are they're tough and they rebound. And I'm like, those are two things we clearly stink
and
at.
They're like on the come up. Like I'd rather face a team that's like the Pacers are like always there, but they're not going to get over the hump. Where it's like the Pistons were so bad a few years ago. They're on the come up. They've got some stars.
Cade's legit.
Cade is like a take over the game type guy. I mean, maybe JB just like handles his shit and there's nothing to worry about. But that was not my favorite first round matchup. That does not feel like a 3-6. That feels like closer. That feels like a 4-5. That feels like a coin flip to me. But maybe I'm wrong.
Last I checked, the Knicks were minus 400 to win the series on DraftKings. So that's
all right. Well,
what it's worth.
I mean,
I'd rather be in the playoffs, have a first round series than be in a lottery picking 8th every fucking year. So I lived through the dark.
No, don't get me wrong. And if those are the odds, then
Yeah.
Vegas knows better than I do. But I don't think it's as much of a gimme. But really, the later rounds are the real problem, where it's just like,
I give us
you
zero chance for
literally,
Boston.
they literally give you no reason to believe that they can get through either of those other teams.
Boston's going to be minus 400 against us next round if they make it. So
Minus 400, they might be minus 1,000 versus us.
Yeah.
I-
And then on the West, I don't know if the Thunder are like the Thunder until they get there and do it one year. I'm waiting. I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop on them. If LeBron gets back, bro. If LeBron's even contending for another one, he is an absolute fucking freak, man.
Absolute freak. It's actually the West is a sick playoff, and now that we're getting all the seeds in now that the playing games are over, it's an absolute bloodbath. That Nuggets Clippers series can be awesome. The first round, like Phil said, he's don't even just give the Cavs a bye. It doesn't matter who they face next round.
Having two under 500 teams in a playing game at a 9 and 10 seed, it's ridiculous.
It's brutal. It's awful. The Cavs are going to absolutely steamroll. But I mean, you look at the West, the West. You have Jokic, LeBron, SGA, and Thunder, and then even the Warriors are whether it's 7 seed or 8 seed, but it's they're just stacked with stars, man. It's crazy.
That's why I can't complain. It sucks we have the Cavs and the Celtics, but it's there's killers in the West, and we're not there.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with I'm happy we're not there. I wish I could root for the Pistons. I like that story. I have also heard a lot of people say the Pistons are a fun, good, tough team. They're basically the guard version of us with Randall back in 21, where it's if Cade's off, the series is going to just be over quick. And we made Trae Young. People thought Trae Young was Reggie fucking Miller, which was disgusting. I hate Reggie Miller, but to disgrace his legacy by calling that bum Trae Young Reggie Miller, it's Reggie Miller was a legit villain. Trae Young just has a couple nice little clips that go viral. So fuck them. Let's go Knicks. I don't even like saying fuck the Pistons. I feel one of their fans is going to try to fight me and shit. Shit, we might have a malice at someone's going to try to hurt Brunson. You know that. They already knocked him down. It's going to get
I'm really hoping that Brunson is just kind of been waiting for the playoffs, kicks it into high gear, goes and does Brunson things, and it's don't even worry about this round.
Yep, I've seen enough people say how Cade's the best player in the series enough times, and it's playoff Brunson. You look at those numbers, he is a real thing. We're just going to do this every year. So we do it with Lindor every year. We're going to do it with Brunson every year.
Yep.
This is just the spring version of that. So Mets, Knicks. Kyle, what are you rooting for these days other than Mets? Anything? We'll throw something on top there. Kyle, sleep.
Rooting for sleep. Yep.
Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.